Welcome to Littleton Common for February 2023. I'm Mark Crory.
And I'm Barbara McRae.
Right.
So, 2023 is here.
Wow.
Boy, how fast the years come and go, but at least it feels that way when you're a senior.
Oh, it feels that way when you're junior, I guess I could say too. Yeah, I'm not quite a senior, but I'm a junior.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll come though, and it will go fast. So make the best of it every single day.
I agree.
So,
have you made any New Year's resolutions, or do you do that kind of thing?
I don't know. Does anyone do that anymore?
I don't know. I hear it discussed around this time of year.
Really? I haven't.
At least the first week.
Yeah. I used to make them when I was younger, but I would forget, what they were anyway. Probably do the opposite, and,
yeah,
just move on.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I kind of adjust as the year goes on, so my New Year's resolutions are ongoing.
Yeah. I
make new ones.
Right.
And adapt.
Yeah, we make new ones to be nice.
To be nice. Yeah, no.
It doesn't work, I'm afraid.
I don't know. You're nice. You don't need that one. But I do have a list that I made up that I'm going to give you of recommendations for your New Year's resolutions if you are so inclined.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Right now, my resolution is trying to learn how to use my new laptop, which is a Windows 11.
Right.
I'm too old to be doing that. I need one that's like Windows 4 or something.
Right. Yeah, I know. It seems like they keep upgrading and updating, which is good because you need to keep up with the latest. No, it's not good. Okay, well, it's good for some.
I'm not computer savvy, really. I like doing emails, or sometimes Windows, my script.
Yeah, right.
Or things like that. And on this one, there's 10,000 things. And the other thing, which I don't understand, is I can be typing an email, and all of a sudden I look up, and the word I typed down here is over here. So I have to check everything before I send it out. So if you get an email with blah, 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 blah.
Okay, I know it's from you.
Yeah.
I do have a question, though. Did you take typing when you were in high school?
I was a very fast typer.
Did they have that class?
Yeah.
Because they had it when I went to school, typing.
Yeah.
And it was the old, put the paper in and,
Really hard to do.
It was, but... I was never good at it then. I was always a one-finger hunt and peck type of person.
No, I got a prize for being so fast.
Wow.
And sometimes I wonder if that's my problem.
It could be. Maybe you're too fast for the computer. Yeah. You try slowing down.
Oh, well, yeah. I'll be working on it.
Well, what's going on?
We're looking forward to some interesting guests this year. And I think that our viewers will enjoy meeting this month's, because if you were wondering about the homestead housing on King Street, our guests today are Diane Loomis and, I hope, Priscilla Williams. Diane will bring us up to date. So, I'm hoping they do, because a lot of people are asking, like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, sure. And well, let's take a look at that interview, and we'll get some of those questions answered.
Sure. Well, I'm so happy that you're both here today, and giving us a little information about what's going on at the Hager Homestead. But first of all, I'd like you to tell a little bit about yourselves. Priscilla, you decided to buy one of the co-housing places?
Yes, I did. I'm Priscilla Williams, and I've been in Townsend for the past 34 years. And my husband passed away 20 years ago. Oh. So it was fun when we lived there together when we were young, in our 30s. And we developed, an acre property and lots of gardens and outdoor things. We did the house over. But now that I'm there alone, I've been there alone for 20 years, it's big. It's a lot to take care of.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't need such a big place myself. But the trick was finding someplace with like-minded people and people that I could be friends with and neighbors that I could help, and in return they could help me. So in this community, because we've been working for a few years, since 2018, we've been working on the project. Now I do know the people, and I sold my business this past year, a gardening business that I had in this part of the world, and I'm going to have a ready-made community to jump into, which is going to be great.
Yeah, that's good, because a lot of seniors, you know, don't know how to get out there and meet people, or don't really want to go too far. And so this is like a good thing for you. Yeah.
Yes, very much.
And Diane, I read about you in the Lowell Sun on the 2021 paper. And so tell us how you got interested in this.
Well, a little before 2021, I had sold the house where I had raised my family, and I moved to a condominium in Westford. Shortly after I moved there, I had kind of an awful bicycle accident, bicycle versus pothole, and the pothole won. And I had required surgery on my left shoulder, and I fractured my left pelvis. So I was essentially, I had one arm, you know, attached to my body, and I had a crutch because I couldn't walk on my left leg for about 8 weeks. And it was awful. I had moved to the condominium. I didn't know anybody there. I had to send emails to beg my old friends, who sometimes lived very far away, for a ride for surgery, to the doctors, for checkups. I paid people to bring me groceries. I had to ask people to help prepare food because I couldn't hold things with my left arm and cook for myself. And shortly after that, or actually just before and just after, I had learned about co-housing. So I said, wow, where is this co-housing community now that I need it with this horrible accident? So I got involved with co-housing. In 2020, right after COVID started, I got sick again and was pretty incapacitated. And the difference was like night and day. I had people calling me to see how I was, texting me saying, I'm going to text you every day to make sure you're okay. Home-cooked meals showed up outside my front door. Groceries showed up. People said, I insist you give me your grocery list. I will get it for you. I will come put it. I mean, it was just wonderful. And none of these people were in the condominium where I lived. These were all the friends I had made from the co-housing community. It was just amazing.
Yeah. So that makes it kind of understandable why you're interested in doing this project. So, well, let's see. What I want to know now is what's going on with the construction there, and why is it in Littleton?
Okay, well, it's exciting. It's right next door to the studio, and it's happening daily. Changes are happening, but the Hager Homestead building a community of 26 households for seniors 55 plus. And the homes, as you may notice, are smaller than what we've been used to, and they're clustered together on the 3 acres of the 15-acre parcel that you'll see on a site map as a blue polygon. We're clustered up near the federal house because that's the dry land that is buildable. Right. And you'll see walking paths between the units. Things are close together, so you won't need a car to a road right up to your door. You have the path instead. And the idea is that we have a close community, and each household is a condominium, especially legally to the bank and so forth. And there will be shared common space because of the smallness of each unit. And there'll be shared common space in the White House, the existing White House that's there that was built in the 70s. That will be where we'll have a large dining area. There'll be space for everyone in the community to gather for a meeting or some kind of social event or maybe a concert, something of that sort. And that's where we'll all gather. And we liked Littleton, that was your second question. We liked Littleton because of its proximity to Boston, to a commuter rail, to major routes, but yet it had the small town feel that we wanted. We wanted to be able to walk on the sidewalk, to go downtown, to do an errand at the post office, and to go in the other direction to a walking trail.
Right, and close to hopefully a new senior center.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
We're really excited when the library and the senior center got built. We're also really interested in becoming, contributing to the Littleton community. At times when we have had tables at Third Thursday or other events in town, we've been approached by, for example, the Littleton Gardening Association, and they came by and said, "Oh, we'd love to have gardeners, join us." And we said, "Wow, well, that's exciting." Oh, you are? Oh,
okay, good. Very
that's great. So we're excited about contributing to the community as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Garden Club would love having more people, too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then you're really explaining what the difference is between a condominium and co-housing, right?
Yes.
Because you were saying how you were in yours, and then we were talking about
co-housing.
Your idea of how you're going to live. So it kind of tells us what could happen.
Yeah, so Hager Homestead is legally and in all other ways a condominium development. The differences between condominiums, and there are many condominiums all over, everywhere, Massachusetts. The difference between a condominium and co-housing is really the use of, one thing is the use of the common space. Condominiums may have a clubhouse that's used occasionally for special events. Co-housing communities almost always have a common house where there's a kitchen that's set up for cooking for many people and a large dining room where most all the residents can come for common meals during the week, and places to gather to watch TV together or play board games or whatever. And the units, as Priscilla was saying, tend to be clustered together so that residents will accidentally run into each other during the day. So those, social interactions will happen because of the way the community is built. Condominiums will often tend to be spread out on a site with an attached garage where people can disappear from their car into their house, and you never get to meet your neighbors.
Just like you explained in the beginning. Yeah. So if you are an introvert and you don't really want to mix too much, it doesn't matter, really. Do what you want, right? Or they might even be encouraged to get out of that introvert state and want to meet people, which would be lovely,
Right.
Yeah, there were interesting things going on that you might want to, be sure you didn't miss it. But yet you have that option. You could read the book at home alone, close your door, or you could go read it in the common house.
I bet that people moving in would tend to be people who want to mix with others.
Actually, I think there are a lot of introverts.
Oh, really?
I think there are a lot of introverts who, like you said, Barbara, as we age, it's maybe a little harder to meet people. There's so much research about social isolation and the dangers to us as we age, becoming isolated, negative health impacts. So I think people who realize that and say, geez, I don't want to be isolated, this might help me, even though I'm not constitutionally an extrovert, you know, it'll help me because I'm living close to my friends. It makes it easier to be neighborly. And so I think you'd be surprised. I think there may be a fair number of introverts there, in addition to a number of extroverts, for sure. There's going to be a little of both. And what we like to say is you can have as much privacy as you want in co-housing, and open your door, and there's community.
Yeah, good, good. What's the age of the people that are interested right now?
You know, we have people interested from mid-50s, and we've got some members in the early 80s. It ranges all the way in between, so it's really a diverse group in terms of age, which we're excited about.
I also wondered about if, say, a parent has a child that has a problem. The parent is living in this co-housing, and the daughter, son, whatever, can't find a place to live yet and wants to live with her mother, or father, I guess. So what happens then? Can they?
They can do that as long as, you know, there's at least one person in the household over 55, which there would be already, the parent, right? And that there would be space for a second person, because some of these are one-bedroom units. Yeah.
Okay.
But then it's...
Is there going to be a limit on how they can stay, do you think?
How long they could stay, maybe?
The child. Like if they have to live with
if they had to
their
live?
parent?
No, I don't think there would be, no. But it's, you know, I would be concerned about the space.
Yeah.
Would there be space for two people in the one bedroom? They'd have to work that out. And maybe, as you say, it's a temporary thing, but it could go, temporary could go on for a few years.
Yeah, sometimes.
But we want to, you know, think of what I said before, we want to think of helping others in crisis times. Yeah. So for some households, maybe that this is a crisis, you know, and we'd like to be helpful if we could. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. I have a long list here, so let's see. I want to get, have you found resistance lately to doing this project?
No, not really. And I think in any small New England town, people are going to be worried about, what's happening to the neighborhood if something new is coming in or being renovated, you know. People are worried about that. But we had really good support, you know, early in the project, and I think, you know, that continues.
Aside, there are people who are concerned that the new building being built near the road is connected to the old house. And of course they were worried about this old house losing the look, you know, and if it would ruin the style there. So I'm always wondering what it will look like when it's finished.
So I actually think there's a banner up on the fence, which may be hard to see if you're driving by in a car, which has the same artist rendition that you can see on the screen, perhaps, which was drawn by the architect. So we worked with the Littleton Planning Board, who suggested changes to our original proposal. The architect changed the way it looked so that we're going to, hopefully the design of the new large home is going to echo and reflect the same design of the federal house.
Oh, okay.
We're not the first people who've added on to or changed that federal house, and we're doing everything we can to restore and rebuild the federal house exactly as it was as much as possible. And it did need some work because some of the foundation was really disintegrating, unfortunately, we found. But we do look forward to the architecture matching the architecture of the original 1790s house, federal house, and the other homes in the area.
Okay. Yeah, it's like you were saying, it's a small town so far. I think it's growing very fast. But so they're interested in the houses and, you know, keeping the historic side of many of the houses that are here. So we'll wait and see, won't we? All right. We just said what it would look like. So do you have an idea when it would be finished?
You know, we don't have an exact schedule yet, but we think construction's going to go on for about a year. We would be really hopeful we could be done at the end of 2023, but somewhere around there, about another year.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Let's see. I'm going to have to read slowly here. What about the name?
Hager Homestead. The first time we saw the name, it was on a plaque on the front of the house. Now, the house was originally built by the Kimball brothers, as so much else was in Littleton, in the 1790s. By the early 20th century, it was owned by, it was called the L.A. Hager Dairy Farm.
Oh.
And Mr. Hager also sold a soft drink called Moxie. And he drove around Littleton in this thing called the Moxie Horsemobile, which is something with a fake horse mounted on it, and the driver's seat was like the horse's saddle. But many generations of the Hager family lived in that house. And last year, some of the descendants who actually grew up there came to Littleton and visited the Littleton Historical Society with some of the old photographs and other artifacts they had from the house, and they invited us to join them while they told stories about the house. It was really great to learn all that history.
Yeah.
And we love that we had chosen the name Hager Homestead and then got more richness by meeting some of the Hager family.
I'm glad that you had the answer, because you know, you do wonder sometimes where the names come from. And with all the names in Littleton, I hadn't heard that.
Well, yeah, you know, when we learned it was built by the Kimball brothers, we're like, oh, everything in Littleton is named Kimball. So let's see if we can be more creative. And we were just thrilled to find this out, and then really thrilled to meet the Hager family.
How long did it take to plan all this? Because, you know, I'm seeing different times where, okay, we're going to build the houses like this. All right, next meeting, 3 months away. Oh, and there's a name for us, and it just keeps going and going. You know, all of you getting together to plan what's going to happen. So, do you know how long ago this started?
Well, it started actually in 2016 with two people who had the concept, and they searched for land within Route 128 but couldn't find anything. So the search got widened in 2018 when we came along, which pleased me because I wanted to stay in this area, you know. And when did we buy the land? 2019 or 2020?
2020. When did we find it? 2019.
Found it in 2019, but bought it in 2020.
Late, anyway, it was a long process.
It was a long process.
A very long process. So the community has grown since 2018. We have a governance system in place where we make decisions, like about names, like about, you know, how it will be, who will be the developer, and then they helped us.
Who would be the architect?
All those things.
We had design workshops where we got to participate in how it would be laid out.
And then it got changed entirely.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're working pretty hard on this.
Yeah.
So the next thing is, do you know how many have been sold so far?
A little more than half.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, many of the early folks.
Are they Littletonians? Do you know?
We have at least one Littletonian so far, for sure, and we've been having info sessions and trying to reach out to the Littleton community. We've had a number of other folks interested, but it hasn't worked out either because of health or timing issues.
Right.
And we continue to reach out to Littleton. We hope we'll have more
Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you call it? Littleton.
Littletonians.
Littletonians.
Yeah, that's the I like you using that. It sounds,
It's good.
I don't know, pretty good. But are there some that are affordable units? And how are you doing that? Are you using a lottery or?
So as we get closer to finishing the project towards the end of next year, a number of additional units will become available that will be moderately priced or affordably priced. They will all be income restricted. 2 of those will be what people traditionally think of as affordable units and will be sold by a lottery, the same lottery process that everyone's familiar with.
What about a resident using a walker or wheelchair? Is that okay?
One of the things that we really are thrilled about in this community and that we can do because we're building from the ground up is the whole site and every home is completely accessible, ADA compliant. So there are no steps outside. All the walking paths are graded so they'll be easy. There's an elevator inside the multifamily building, so you won't have to walk stairs if you can't.
Wow.
And as you have a walker or wheelchair, all the doorways are wide and all the thresholds are even with the ground, so there's no problem getting over thresholds. We even have removable cabinets in the kitchens and bathrooms in case a wheelchair needs to be used there. So a lot of thought has gone into accessibility for seniors as they age in place.
Well, we've told a lot here. I hope people understand a little better. And how can they learn more? There must be more that they want to know. So how can they find out?
We have a website, hagerhomestead.org. And you can go on that and see more photos of the construction. You can sign up for an info session, and you can browse through all our past newsletters and sign up for more newsletters that will keep you abreast of the progress.
Yeah.
And that's free, of course, to sign up. And then when the good weather comes back, we'll be tabling again at Fay Park and the Country Fair. So that's a chance to meet us in person.
Yeah. I like the idea of pamphlets too, because a lot of seniors who would be interested don't use a computer. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them more are using them all the time, but they don't go into sites sometimes. And so they're asking their friends who are probably guessing. And so any kind of pamphlet or newsletter would help too, you know, just to...
You know, we have
Postcard.
we have a postcard that we've developed, and we could talk about expanding it into the pamphlet with maybe some of the contents from our newsletter. We haven't, where would we put something like that?
Well, you could put it at the Council on Aging, the library,
Town
maybe
Hall.
even realtors.
Town Hall had a rack of things here, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything that you think people, maybe even, well, I was going to say the grocery stores, but I wonder if they have a spot like Market Basket
They
has a
used to.
spot
I
that
thought
you
they
could
used
drop
to
things.
they used to have places like that.
Yeah. I would think I'd go just about every place I could think of.
You know, when we started in 2018, and we had in-person info sessions in the area, we used to go around, there were only a few of us, and we used to drive around with a big thing of one-page flyers, and we would put flyers on bulletin boards in the grocery store, remember
The
that?
libraries,
The
yeah.
library, wherever we could manage to put them up to get people to come. So that's
Well,
an
you
interesting idea.
The town office building with the Council on Aging in it, and Park and Rec is in it, and you know, it's just a start to, and of course the library, where a lot of people go.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, someone turning 55 or 56 might say, oh, I'm finding out about this, and maybe for some reason they might need something like this. So, do you feel like you've gotten some of the word out today?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for the great opportunity.
Well, I'm so glad that I finally met you both and that you could come today, and hopefully those 4 people watching will have the word.
That would be great. Thank you very much, Barbara. It's been great talking to you this morning.
I enjoyed it, and I feel like I learned a lot.
Good.
Now, if somebody asks me, at least
Oh, now you have the answer.
say something like,
Yeah, right.
oh yeah, yep, it's being built. Okay, well, thank you again, and I hope to see you again.
Okay.
And maybe when the project's finished, you can come in and
Oh,
just have a little news for everybody.
Have an update. Yes,
okay.
that sounds good.
Well, that's a great
Okay.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, the Crory family has long, long list of talented people.
Really?
One of them.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you to say.
But anyway, yeah, and so many people have known the Crorys because they're Littleton. And right now, you have a special talent out there.
Well, it's, I guess, not quite me, but my son, Luke. I have 6 kids. He's number 3. And he went to Hollywood to try to make it in as an actor. And he got his first, I guess, big role in a movie that came out over the holidays. It was called I Want to Dance with Somebody. It was a Whitney Houston biography picture. And he played a character in there that was, you know, not nice, but you know, he did get lots of screen time. You know, he was in 2 scenes, but you definitely could see that it was him, and he had a few lines to speak with the character who played Whitney Houston. And but he really enjoyed the experience. He actually shot 3 scenes, but one of them was cut from the movie. So we were worried that all his scenes might be cut, you know, because sometimes it happens if you have a small role in a movie. To move it along, they edit it, and just like I'll probably edit a lot of what you say out of this show. But that's
Thank you. I bet you do that on every show.
I do it on every show. You need only have so much time, and people need to hear me, I think, more. So that's what we do. Anyway, we're very proud of him.
Yeah,
we
we are.
went to the movies on Christmas evening to here at the Point in Littleton because we wanted the luxury seats and everything, and it was great. Really proud of him, and you know, he's auditioning currently for other roles and hasn't landed that next big one yet, but
Well,
we'll see.
gee, he just had one, so it takes time.
I know, but he's got an agent and everything, so.
I know. Would you please ask him for his autograph for me?
I will do that.
Only because, what if he becomes famous? I'll have his autograph.
I know.
When he was himself.
Yeah, well, if you're interested in looking up Luke, you can go to Internet Movie Database, which is like the site that has all the actors and movies and everything all about entertainment. You type in his name, Luke Crory, and you'll see his bio there and the movies he's in. You can actually do that for me too. I was in a couple of movies, but nothing big.
Okay.
Yeah, so, O'Neill's Cinemas was very nice. They actually gave us a limited edition poster they put aside for me, because we were going to rent the whole theater out and invite relatives and stuff, but that didn't work out. But they were nice enough to hold the poster for me, and so now I have it for Luke.
Nice.
And he has a nice collector's edition poster for who knows?
Wow. Okay, I want his picture with an autograph.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. I do have an in there. Hey, another thing I want to mention as the new year happens, you know, things change, and sometimes people come in and out of your life, and one of the people that we're sorry to see go is our own Bob Spinozzi, who is moving out of Massachusetts. And he's been doing Small Town for years. That's the name of the show, Small Town. And you know, was also a co-host for a while on Littleton Common, and
Right.
basically, you know, he and his wife are moving out there, and so we just wanted to wish him the best, and really going to miss him.
Yeah, I will. Bob was, you know, really fun to be with, and we had fun doing the show, but they'd have to move away,
Yeah,
I guess.
know. Yeah.
We all go someplace else at times. I hope we don't. I hope we stay here. But
Although Italy would be nice to
yeah.
go to again.
Well, just renting is probably better for a month or something like that.
Sure. Let me know when you're going to do that, because I'll be right there knocking at your door. We, you know, we're going to miss him, so just want to thank him publicly and wish him luck.
You know, everybody, the Friends of the Council on Aging here in Littleton have been changing scenes these past couple of years. It started probably with the COVID because of the, you know, not being here, not being able to do things and everything. And we've lost, not lost, but
They're not on the board anymore.
Yeah, outgoing people, which is kind of sad because the most recent president, Holly Stewart, signed or resigned, and a new president will be voted on this month. Holly did a great job during her time with Friends and got a few good donations while she was in, and she will be missed. And Susan Hogg, the Friends of the Council on Aging secretary, is joining Holly and will also be missed. And we hope they enjoy new adventures in volunteering. The Friends continue to support the Council on Aging and Littleton seniors with donations. These funds are used for senior needs and towards a new senior center. So donations are always welcome, so please consider the Friends of the COA when donating to a good cause. And don't forget our seniors. Send this to the Friends of the Council on Aging, FLCOA, at P.O. Box, I think is 137. You'll have to double check that. Littleton, Mass. 01460. I'm so excited about this.
I know, all right. Well, I hope that you would consider making a donation to the Friends. That's great. They do a lot of good things. A lot of the programs that are hosted downstairs when entertainment is needed, and luncheons and things that are sponsored by the Friends. Just a great help to the EHS COA.
Of course, all that's in the past, and now it's something else. But anyway, so at the COA board meeting recently, I heard a very important thing, that there's a training session for anyone who would like to become a Dementia Friends champion. You know, my mother suffered from dementia, but she got it at 91, which is, to me, I consider that pretty lucky, because some people are very young when dementia appears. I understand the importance of knowing more about this disease. I learned firsthand on what to do and what not to do for her. And remember this, patience is important. There is a push to have the word get out about this special program, so it might help many understand dementia. This is an opportunity for adults and high school students and organizations to know more about it and become a Dementia Friends champion, especially if it happens to a family member or friend. There will be virtual and in-person sessions, I believe, and they'll be every few months, but check with EHS for dates.
Well, we have a new show that's going to be starting up here in town. I'm very excited. It's with Anthony Insaldi, the town administrator, and it's going to be called About Town.
Okay.
And what is it? It's about town.
Our town,
Yeah,
right?
our town, yes.
Okay.
But we hope to have guests and interviews and interesting banter back and forth between Anthony and myself. I will be joining him on the show, and we hope to just another vehicle. We don't have a newspaper in town, and we're looking for ways to make people informed about what's going on. Of course, you have LCTV and our on-demand and YouTube channels, which have all our programming there, so you can get caught up on not only all the government meetings that we cover, but town events like sports and school concerts and our show here, the highlight show with EHS, a lot of different programming on there. You'd want to check that out. So look for that new show. It's called About Town, and we hope to be shooting our first episode this month. And then right after that, we're going to be taping a town meeting preview show because we have a town meeting coming up. It's Wednesday, February 15th. It's at 7 p.m. at Littleton Middle School. And we're going to be talking about all the issues like we normally do. The moderator, Tim Goddard, and Anthony Insaldi and other department heads will get together. We'll discuss the what's on the agenda for the articles.
Good.
And I think there's only 7 or 8 articles on there, but there are some pretty big ones.
Yeah.
The gun bylaw, which is the reason why they're having the special town meeting in the first place. But there's also some other issues that are going to happen. We have the purchase of Indian Hill Music Center is going to be on there, and you'll want to be informed about that. But we hope to talk about that, by the way, on Anthony's new show, About Town. We'll give the viewers the skinny on Indian Hill and what's happening there. So
yeah, well, it's so funny you should mention that because Alan mentioned this morning, for some reason he mentioned his show that he used to have that was about the upcoming meeting, and it was called At Issue.
Right. At Issue, yeah.
So I said, oh yeah, we had forgotten about that.
I just started, I remember when I first came here a number of years ago, we used to do a live election night show.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? When Alan was the host, and I think Tim Goddard or somebody might have been there too, because I think Tim was the town administrator at the time.
Right.
But we would be here in the studio and we would get election results in, and let's tally up the votes now, and we were the first ones to report the winners of the local elections. So that was fun. Maybe we'll resurrect that, because that's kind of fun to do.
Right.
Although nowadays with the internet, it's like,
they just go there.
and Facebook and stuff, yeah, they kind of trump us, but who knows, we'll see.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, good. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And most of all, don't forget to hug a senior.
Right, come here.
I'll hug a junior.
Okay.